Hello, welcome back to Squid and Its Mint. This is video vlog number 2. We've got some updates for you. A lot of the work this week has been on the Sierra. We can't show you that just yet because we're not ready to do the main video on it, and we wouldn't want to spoil your fun. So, in Suzu, we've done about 130 kilometers in it now without a hitch. So all that trouble with water systems and rusty fuel tanks and pumps and injectors, changing the injectors, has finally nailed it. We're happily using it. We went out to see another car in it during the week. You'll find out more about that one soon enough, I'm sure. All the wheels have gone out the back of it. So we now have wheels on the E30 with tyres the right way round. We've got the E30 rolling, but we haven't yet had the chance to get it into the final resting place, and I haven't done the rust preserving on it yet. Hi, so this is the vlog thing. This is part number 2. We actually shot part number 2 for the weekend and it wasn't very good, so we decided to think about what we wanted to do a little bit with the vlog and maybe sort of script it. So I've got a couple of headings here that will maybe help make a more interesting or informative vlog. So the headings I've got is mentions and questions, cars, videos, tips, tools and Hot Wheels. So the mentions and questions, this is really to try and engage you guys a little bit more and you know, answer any questions that you've had either through the Facebook page, because if you're not on the Facebook page, if you're into Facebook, it's Squint and Its Mint YouTube channel Facebook page, and it's where we talk about the projects and post some extra photos and things like that. So there's bits and pieces in there. There's that. It's the mentions. The mentions, I guess, are related to the YouTube questions at the moment. We've got like Robin, always grateful for your comments, always grateful that you watch the videos and always drop a comment and say hi. I've got my old shirt on again, Robin, so I do possess, obviously as you've noticed and commented, more than one shirt. And these are my, shed shirts. The one you saw the other day was the going out shirt. We've got Tim, always good lad. Gary, good lad. And the trouble is when you start doing this is you go, oh, I didn't mention him. You've got the 2 Alexes. Let me just have a look in my Dylan, hi Dylan, out there as well. Joe, Mr. Doucette, always love your comments, man, when we were just going to full flow conversations, and the last one was about boys. And obviously I've got my boys doing bits and pieces on the cars. We've got Austin's just about to turn 17 this week. He's just finished his exams through his first year of A-levels, and he really is into the cars. He's getting his hands dirty, he's pulling stuff out, he's sanding. I've not got him really too involved in welding or grinding and stuff like that at the moment, but definitely hands-on, and we've got no problem at all getting in there with the crap that the rats leave us, and sanitising stuff, washing and cleaning. And then there's Russell's 14 now. He was 14 in March. He's a little bit more technical, so we can use him for doing like templates. If I want to make something, I can give him a piece of cardboard and get him to draw it out. I can cut it and use that as a template for making something out of metal. So he's done quite a few templates recently. He did a spacer for the top of we've got adjustable top mounts on our E30. and we just wanted to space them down by 10 mil, just to give us a little bit more ride height in the front. Well, that was never said before, was it? More ride height on an E30. Okay. There's a little bit more involved to it, but yeah, we needed to just bring that up slightly. And he managed to work out, as I say, a little bit more technical. He got the maths and worked out how to do the PCD properly, because the PCD is not actually even on them. So that was a good job he did there. Then we go through to the other stuff he does. He likes one bolt stuff, he's good with the tools. So that's handy. He seems to know where things are that nobody else does. He's probably got one of those memories where he's seen it somewhere and he's remembered where it was and he's sort of go straight to it. So that's a handy trait. It's like I always used to remember places by landmarks that I'd seen, and quite often a landmark would be like an old broken down car, or a particular tree, or something like that. Maybe he's got that sort of photo memory there. Right, if I go to YouTube Studio, could have done this beforehand. Yeah, with Christopher Nugent, he's always got good things to say, always good to hear from him. Our mate Steve from the Motorbike Rental, nice to see you dropping in on us now and again. Alex, as I said earlier, Joe, Robin. Yeah. So the video that was just out was, well, I'll go back to the list. So the thing to talk about there was the cars. I think in vlog 1 we had a bunch of tyres. We had to switch some tyres down on the E30, had to put some rollers on the other E30, the old race car, so we could move that around. And that's because we needed space in the yard for another incoming car. Now we're not going to reveal what that car was at the moment, because that'll sort of mess up some of the I guess the timing on the projects that we've got. I mean, down here, this is the Sierra, we are not as far as this into the video releases, but you can see obviously I'm prepping for paint, so that's just a little bit of a spoiler. But what I had to do before getting to this stage is something you're going to have to watch on the videos. So yeah, the Isuzu's been running well. We use that. We've done about 150 kilometers in it now. We use that to go out to find this other car. That was a good fun. That was last weekend. Yeah, not really much else on the other cars that are in the playlist. We did a video on the Transit. I hope you've seen that. So that's the cars. The videos sort of mentioned that as well already. Tips. Right, I have a tip. It's an interesting one. Right, this tip involves this. And this is a diamond mounted on a piece of steel. And these are used for dressing bench grinders and such like. Now, I wanted to grind a radius into a piece of steel so that I could do a hammer form bead. I don't have a bead roller. I love a bead roller, but I don't have one yet. But I wanted to be able to chase a bead into a piece of steel, and it's related to doing the guttering on the Transit here. So what I thought was, if I got one of these here diamond tipped dressers, then I could, because I can't just use a grinding wheel. A new grinding wheel's got very square edges on it, but I wanted a radius. So I thought if I got one of these, then I'd be able to dress the wheel and get the radius on the grinding wheel that I wanted. Sure enough, literally just etched, ground the radius that I needed onto this disc. And then what I found out is that while we're using these discs and grinding paint and this, that and the other, is they actually gum up and they get less and less effective as you go along. And what I did find is that if you just dress the wheel ever so slightly, it brings its edge back. While you're grinding, when it starts to get dull, you're doing a big grinding job, and I'm actually using 1mm wire at the moment, because it's all I can get. So there's a lot of grinding, the welds are quite high, there's quite a lot of grinding. I find that if I stop and just run the diamond tip across the wheel, then it just keeps it nice and sharp as well. So that, I think, is a good tip. I think that's a good one to remember. I've never seen anybody else do it. I know about grinding wheels in grinding shops and precision grinding. You know, when you've got surface grinders and stuff like that, you know, magnetic mounted stand, you know, wheel on a mag, on a base, and that goes onto the mag, and you can just move it around and grind and dress the wheel up. I'm not saying anybody do it with a grinder. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but you know, I think it's got good benefit to having a nice sharp grinding disc. The other thing that I had on the list was tools. So what I've been doing is I've been using these carbide tips for grinding welds down, especially where you're into corners and stuff that you know, you can't get a grinder. So these are really good at knocking welds down. And I've also been putting wire brushes in here. Right, so I've got these little sort of tip wire brushes, and these go in there well, and they're good at cleaning out the spot welds. I've got a battery drill. The battery drill doesn't really have the RPM or the battery life, so these are just good just to pick up and go buzz buzz and, you know, clean out the spot welds. And then I thought to myself, well, I used to have a Dremel. Well, I still have a Dremel, but it seems to be damaged, and the shaft is bent, so it doesn't really work very well anymore. And I use a 3mm. I guess it's an 1/8. They use a 3mm collet, and with those you can use little cut-off wheels. So these are the cut-off wheels and stuff like that, which I find very good for doing really precise cuts, and again in places where you can't get the angle grinder. Sometimes you know, the angle grinder is too big, or you know, you can't see what you're doing, you can't see behind it, you can't see the cutting edge on it. So these are really good just to be able to get in there. But the only trouble is, the die grinder I have is a 6mm collet. So I was looking and hoping there was some sort of standardization with these collets, and apparently there is. But this here is a 3mm collet, so we're popping that in there and putting the collar back on. I can actually now use my die grinder with the cut-off wheel and other 3mm type things. So that's the tool for the week. Very simple, not expensive at all, but just gives us more options. So that's the tool for the week. Not expensive at all. Just gives us you know, a range of options to you know, get into small spaces and so on. Okay, so there's one more on the list, and this is Hot Wheels. Now, I've got massive thanks to Tim Pete, who noticed that I was posting some Hot Wheel cars on Instagram. So we've got a Mark II Escort. I posted Mark II Escort Hot Wheels with the real thing, and did the same with RE30, and did the same with another car. I can't remember which one now. There's like 3 of them. Maybe the other Mark II, the Forest Arch one, yeah. So the X-Pack and the Forest Arch. and I asked how easy it was to get hold of some of the models. So it seems like we've got good availability here for some of the models. So what we were thinking was that maybe we try and do a little bit of trading with the Hot Wheels cars. We've got a whole range of Sierras now, which is going to be, well, not going to be, which is the black, the silver, the red, the purple and the yellow. So we've got 5 models of Sierra. The yellow's not actually arrived yet, but the other ones are on the way. Sorry, the other ones are already here. So we've got a full set of Sierras. We've got the different RS1600 Mark 1 Escorts, and we've got access to the Boulevard Cosworth and the Boulevard RS1800s. Hello. We're on the way to the post office to pick up a parcel. We were out yesterday and we missed the posting. So rather than drop it off, to get back to the post office, and left me a little slip. So we've got to pick up the tax for this truck, and yeah, the post office is nearby. So when we get the parcel, we'll show you what it is and tell you a little something about it. Enough. That was more of a saga than it should have been. We went to the first post office, which was near the tax place. We've got the new tax disc here for the truck. Still registered as a diesel, so don't tell anybody. I went to the post office and said, no, not this post office, you have to go to the other one. So this is the other one. And this has all changed since COVID. So we had to go and wait in a room, and I had to go and find the parcel. So it's now 11:20 in the morning, and we started doing this a couple of hours ago. But what we have in this box is lots of bubble wrap, and Boulevard Cosworth Escort, and a bubble pack, which is very nice. That's even been wrapped up nicely as well. What we were thinking was, because we started collecting these Hot Wheel cars, because we got an Escort, so we bought a Hot Wheels the Escort. We've got Sierra, so we bought Hot Wheels the Sierra. We've got A30s, so we bought those. And we posted them on Instagram, and people said, oh, they're good, where did you get them? Because we realised that they're not available to everybody in every region. So a couple of viewers, Tim Pete, for example, he's asked us to get one of these. This is an additional one to that set. In fact, is this the same as the one he requested? Yeah, it is, yeah. It led us to think, well, maybe we could source some Hot Wheel cars and sell them. You know, sell them for a couple of quid extra or something, so that you guys can get the ones that you need, and we can substitute. I don't want to do like I don't know what they call it, Patreon and stuff like that. I'm just going to ask for money, but I thought if we could promote and sell some of the Hot Wheels cars to the enthusiasts, you know, the money that we could make from those could support the channel and whatnot. So we've got a good selection now. We've got RS1600 Escorts, the RS1800 Escorts, the Mark 2 one. We've got Sierra Cosworths, we've got Escort Cosworths, and things like that. So we're putting them up on eBay, and we have been posting them on our Instagram. So if that is something that interests any of you, drop us a line in a comment, or send us a private message, or hit us up on our Facebook.